Hello everyone, it is Sue here. Welcome to my channel. So I am super excited today to be doing a collaboration with Carol from Wonky Stitching with Carol. And we are going to be collaborating, and each of us are sewing a fabric bowl. So I'm super excited about that. I haven't done one before. I have some pink fabric, some more neutral. I have yellow, I have orange, I have purple. I'm using all the colors except for I don't want a lot of blue and I don't want a lot of green because I've been doing a lot of those colors. So I want to focus on other colors. So let me tell you what I did. So I took a plate, turned it upside down, drew around it, and this particular plate is 7.5 inches across, which is, let me see, what's that in centimeters? 7.5 inches is 19 centimeters. So that's how big the plate was, and that's what I'm going to use. Then what I did was I went 2 inches in from the outside and I drew another circle. I do think I'm going to switch that up probably just a little bit, but yeah, so we'll see. So 2 inches is 5 centimeters. Okay, so this particular fabric is actually a piece of a quilted fabric that I purchased a while back on Etsy, and I had it, and it's a good width. When you make a fabric bowl, you want to, have something decent, a good thickness, because you want it to be as sturdy as possible. So if you have batting, and it is really thin batting, you're going to want to layer it up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anybody do that, but if I were to do that, that's what I would be doing. Yeah, so definitely be sure to you check out Carol, her YouTube channel, and her Facebook group. I'll have both of the links in my description box. Okay, so this does not have to be perfect and super neat for sure. And the person that I learned this way of doing the fabric bowl is from Sarah, from Roxy Creations by Sarah. So I'll have that link in my description box as well. Okay, so now we have to make slits. And because that's how we're going to get the bowl to stand up on its side. So when I drew this circle, I thought, well, I'm going to just go up to that circle. You know what, I have to do it crossways. But I think I want it a little bit deeper. A little bit, so like the more that you cut here, the taller your sides of your bowl will be. So as I don't know, I just kind of feel like I want the sides of the bowl to be a little bit bigger. So you're going to cut 8 slits, and I don't know, I would definitely recommend cutting them across from one another. And that will make more sense in probably a minute. And you can decide how big your bowl is, how tall you want the sides. Yeah. Totally up to you. Totally up to you. Okay. So now the next step is to take these and to pin them together. And again, so now this is creating the bowl. So I'm overlapping them probably close to 1 inch Uh, yeah, I don't know that you have to do this much, but yeah, I would say at least a half of an inch or more. So what's kind of cool about using something like this, the quilted piece, is that, well, one side of it already has fabric on it. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I don't know if I'm going to cover all of that up or just leave it as it is. I don't know. We will see. So look at my cute little bowl. Isn't it cute? So you can see the shape of it happening. For sure. For sure. All right. So now the next step is to stitch these so that I can take the pins out. And again, I'm following along with Sarah. And yeah, look at the cute little bowl. Isn't that darling? And look at this. I mean, literally, look at this. Yeah, I don't have to put fabric on this side of it if I don't want to. How interesting is that? Very interesting, as a matter of fact. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I was going to use white thread, but I think I'm going to find something more on the beige side, because if I decide not to put any fabric on the other side, I want this to look nice. Like, I don't want like stark white thread on this beautiful, like antique looking fabric. Carol and we agreed to doing 2 Saturdays for this collaboration. And so I'm excited about that. So this week I wanted to show you how to cut it, which we did, and how to just stitch up the sides, right? So all I'm doing at this point is all of the sides that I have pinned, I'm just stitching so that I can take the pins out. Yep. Oops. So I'll have to do that all the way around. Yeah, I'm just making sure it's gonna stay nice and snug so that my bowl shape will stay. I even like having this extra fabric on the inside because I think that that's gonna also help with the shape of this little bowl. So the thing now is when I sew fabric to the inside of this, that I'm probably not going to put, have the stitches go all the way through to the other side. All right. All right, so I'll do one more like this, and then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and hop off and then sew the rest of these little pieces down and then come back on. So all I'm doing is I'm going to where it's pinned, and see, this is stitched now. You can see it's stitched. So that's what I want to do on each one of these. See, so I'm excited to see how Carol does hers. there's a lot of ways to do bowls, and I mean everybody sews the fabric bowl. So I'm excited to finally do this. I've been wanting to do this for a few months now. So this is like the perfect project for this collaboration. And I hope that you all decide to make a fabric bowl as well. And over on the Facebook group, Carol's Facebook group is a great place to post your pictures and your progress. So we would love to, see what you're doing for sure. I have the thread doubled here. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know why I doubled it, but I did, and I'm just rolling with it. So that's okay. However you like to use your thread. Yep. And I used the pearl size 8. If I didn't say that already. Okay. So now we have 2 of these done. So let me show you, and then I'm going to pop off and finish stitching them, and then I will come back. So you can see here that these 2 are stitched. So now I'm going to continue on stitching. So I will be back. Alrighty, so let's continue on. So I sewed all of those little areas together, so it's all sewn. What I want to show you that's really cool is that, even like when your bowl is fully complete, it's reversible, which is kind of fun, right? So yeah, I like that whole idea. But to sew onto this side of the bowl, I am going to turn it inside out. Now we will be adding, all the fun, yummy stuff, all the laces and doilies and all that. But that's next Saturday's video. So definitely come back for that. But in the meantime, I just wanted to show you real quick how to sew the fabric down if you don't want to go all the way through to the other side. Now, could I? I sure could. It wouldn't hurt anything for me to go all the way through. And in fact, in some areas I might do that and some I might not. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do the straight stitch, and I'm going to try to stay where I don't go any deeper than the batting, right? I want to stay on the batting and not go through. So when you do that, you can actually feel it. So like I have my finger on the opposite side, so I can feel if that needle is going to come all the way through to the other side. I can feel it, and I can correct it. Unless you want to go all the way through, either way is fine. And that's how I do it. And you also just it's kind of like you skim on the top. You skim across. So you're pushing your needle in, but you're not pushing it in all the way. So I hope that makes sense. And yeah, so what you're supposed to do, what Sarah did from Roxy Creations is when she would get close to where another piece of fabric would need to be added, she would overlap the 2. So as of right now, I only have the 3 sides of this one piece of fabric sewn. So before I do the 3rd or the 4th side, I'm going to go ahead and grab another piece of fabric, and I'm going to start stitching that. So that for me, like I just poked my finger on the other side. So I know I went too far. But again, I'm skimming across the top. Like you can feel how deep you're going into the fabric. And don't be alarmed that, hey, it's going to seem like your fabric doesn't fit right because, well, it's not going to fit right because you're sewing things that have square edges onto something that is round. That's okay. You're going to find that you're going to go, like the top of it is going to, in some cases, come over like this. Now, in the end, you can either put over the top the fabric and just sew it. You can cut it, whatever you want to do. But remember, we're going to come in with laces and everything. So as far as the batting here, which we won't do this week, we're not worrying about that right now, but just so that you can have in your head, think about what you might want to sew onto the top of your fabric bowl. It can be a piece of lace, right? It can be anything you want it to be. Or it can be fabric, or you can just do with the thread. You can do the blanket stitch on the whole entire top all the way around to close up where that you can see the batting. And hey, if you like batting and you want to keep it to where you can see it, then that's what you do. So I'm just going to come on this side so I can see where I'm sewing, because this side is above the bowl, and I will most likely cut it. Yeah, I've been thinking about covering this other side of this fabric. It would be a shame to cover it, or the other side of the bowl. It would be a shame to cover it because, well, I mean, it's an old quilt piece. So yeah, I'm gonna cheat. Carol's probably shaking her head like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm probably gonna cheat a little bit on this one, but I have to say that I think it's like a really good idea to first stitch down, just like do a collage piece. So just take a piece of batting, stitch down, make sure the batting is a good size where you can put a bowl on it and cut it around. Then do that, cut it out, and half of your bowl is already going to be stitched. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling at the moment, because I'm really liking this whole thing where half of it's already done. Okay, so now I'm over here. Now you can't keep doing this like all the way around, but you certainly can, continue like this to a certain point. And I just messed up right there, but that's all right. I messed up because I went over the top of it. But we're going to come back, like I said, next week, and we're going to do the embellishing on the bowl. So we're going to add any special fabric. So like I have fabrics that have text on them that I may want to add to the outside. I have yo-yos. I have, all the things, the laces, all the yummy things that I'm going to want to decorate this bowl with. So that's what we're going to do next Saturday. So hopefully this gives you a good idea on how to make the bowl, cut the bowl, even sizes. I gave you the sizes for this bowl. But you do you. And you don't have to have a quilted piece of fabric, because in reality I should be sewing both sides of this bowl, but it just, I don't know, it just kind of happened this way, where it works, where I think I'm going to only sew the one side. Although on the other side I will be sewing some laces. So let me show you that real quick. I'm not going to stitch it because that's what we're doing next Saturday, but just so that you can start, think about what you want to do and take out your supplies that you want to use. All right, so I have to knot this. I'll knot it underneath. So I did all of that without knotting my thread, except I don't have a stitch down here, but that's okay. I'll grab that. I'll stitch that when I put another piece down there. So it's kind of like a puzzle, but that's how I do most of my stitching anyway. All right, so far this is what I have on the inside. And so what I mean about adding stuff to the outside, do I have a little piece in here? Yeah, is so I can take like little pieces like this and just stitch them on the outside. Like that's going to be like super pretty, don't you think? I think so. And then we'll do the same on the inside. We'll take little pieces and stitch them around as well. And of course you have, your yo-yos that you're going to stitch on there. You're going to have your buttons that you might want to stitch on there. Like, how fun is this? This is really, really, really fun. So that, I think, is going to be it for today. And let me know if you have any questions. Definitely head on over to see Carol. Tell her hi from me and from you. And yeah, so thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next Saturday where we're going to finish this up. So I'll spend the week finish stitching the fabric on this side, and then next week we'll come back and add all the yummy fun stuff. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. All right, thank you so much for being here. God bless. Bye-bye.